equipment allows you then to experiment and try different strategies to improve your PUE. All right, so, and then the ability to meter and accurately build apartments is one of the things that we're going to be doing. So all the stuff that there's actually some building stuff in the software I'm going to show you. Hi, my name is Robert Bunger. I'm the Business Development Director for InfraStruXure Systems in Greater China, and I work for APC by Schneider Electric. So that's a great question. The global downturn has made everybody rethink efficiency, operational costs, and not just consider capital costs, but both of those in balance as you'd expect and what the TCO is. And it's different between whether you're operating an existing data center or building a new one, and what are the top strategies you would like to take care of in each one of those conditions. In general, typically cooling is one of the first things that you want to look at to see if there's savings there. And both in existing and new, you want to do the basic strategies of hot aisle, cold aisle, blinking panel, try to make sure you separate the hot and cold air, and you're running high density efficiently and things like that. Most people are deploying high density in these data centers, and again, being able to do that effectively with close coupled cooling will allow you to operate efficiently and dynamically. On the power side, existing data centers, there's not too much you can do besides making sure you're right-sized and you're not operating with too much oversized infrastructure. And again, for new one, there's a lot of very efficient UPS technologies on the market, transformerless designs where you can really save money for new designs. And the last, but probably most important, is you have to understand how efficiently you're operating. Management systems are the key to doing that, and there's a lot of options today for you to measure how you're doing. If you can't measure it, you can't make goals, and you can't make changes to try to improve it. So that's one of the first things you can look at, is how do you at least measure some of the basics on your data center consumption, and then you can measure the effectiveness of changes that you make in that data center. So, how much do you invest early on new technologies to try to save money in the future? With every change, you obviously have to do a TCO analysis. Typically, for efficiency, the payback can be quite low. If you look at new efficient UPSs, the payback can easily be within 3 years for that, and then you're saving obviously year three and beyond. And then cooling systems, you have to do a balance, and it all depends. One of the things that we've done to help with these decisions is create what are called trade-off tools, which is exactly what you're doing. Do you pay a little bit more up front to save efficiency later, or is the payback too long? And these tools on the web, on APC site, do everything from help you figure out expected PUE of your data center, to help you figure out capital costs for doing different strategies. Every scenario is different, and this could kind of give you rough guidance on making those decisions. And it's interesting you ask that question, because it is difficult. The other aspect I want to emphasize is that we really like to talk about right-sizing your data center. So, typically data centers have a life cycle of at least 10 years, and you don't populate it fully on day one. So you want to build the infrastructure that you only need to on day one, so that you can save that money and then build it later when you need it. And a couple of things, it allows you to be ready for new technologies in the future, and also lets you save that capital cost. The biggest barrier to that we've seen is the budgeting cycle that companies have, the budgeting process. If they set a budget and there's an opportunity to save money and defer costs, they won't, because they're never sure they're going to get the budget in the future. So it's actually typical business budgeting process that stands in the way of either saving capital costs early on and deferring them to later. In the presentation, I discussed the APC by Schneider data center in St. Louis, and the tenants in there are obviously APC. It's our own data center. and it supports all the corporate functions, but also IBM, which is managing a bridge for Schneider Electric North America. And currently that is about half and half. Half of it is the APC by Schneider Electric, the other half is managed by IBM, but again, all housed within the APC by Schneider facility. My hope is what I was trying to communicate in the presentation, that a high efficiency data center is achievable within an existing facility. Okay, there's a lot of purpose-built data centers out there, co-location, large corporate data centers, but many of them are within existing facilities. And again, by the right monitoring, applying the right controls in the right place, you're able to get a industry-leading efficiency PUE by doing that, and it's not it's very achievable. And we were basically subject to the same constraints that all companies were subject to when you have an economic downturn and you can't spend what you expected at the beginning. This is the attraction for this particular conference was the quality of the attendees. You have very high-end participants from leading companies and a lot of expertise out there. And so being able to meet these folks, understand their challenges, and especially in this region is what really attracted me. So it's great. It's not a very large conference, but it has very high quality people.